To learn the good, the bad, and the reality of the off-grid lifestyle, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. So I've gotten quite a bit done on the tiny house, as you saw in the video. We're making lots of progress. We're getting that frame cleaned off, the trailer frame cleaned off. And then we can cut the frame, the back half of the frame, get rid of that. I've said that many times that we're gonna get rid of the back half of the frame. And then we're gonna start building our tiny house on the front end. About 200 square feet. A lot of people say, well, that's just too much for 200 square feet, $5,000 for 200 square feet. The thing is it may not cost $5,000. We're gonna do everything we can to hit the sales and recycle things that we can recycle. As a matter of fact, I've got $500 budgeted for the floor, but when I did the math, it came up about 280 bucks. So I mean, that's a significant savings over my original plan. I mean, I came up with a budget, this is what I wanted to spend. And then I actually started putting numbers to paper and it came up a little bit cheaper. So today I thought I'd take a little bit of a break on the house. I didn't work very hard on it today. Wanted to come out in the woods. There's mushrooms out here. I know there's gotta be mushrooms. There's these, I forget what they call them, these little plants right here. I don't know, Mayapples or apples, whatever, apple plant. And I'm confident there should be mushrooms out here. Everybody's posting them. I don't know, maybe it's too cool out right now. I mean, it's been pretty chilly for the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 days. So I came out here to look at them, to kind of get back into the off-grid thing. Little house on the off-grid, right? So it's been about a week on the little house. It'd be nice to talk about the off-grid stuff. That's the stuff I really like. The house, once it's built, it's done, and we're living in a tiny house. But the off-grid thing is forever. Look, we're in a significant crisis right now, I would say. I think the country's in significant crisis. I've said it many times. And I have found myself feeling like I'm in a perfect position to cope with this. Look at this. More of these plants that mushrooms are supposed to be growing around. If I ever find one, man, it's going to be a party. We're going to have a party. I'm financially set as far as being able to survive this pandemic. I mean, I can't go on forever. Of course, my savings would be depleted, you know, just like everybody else's if it went on forever. And I didn't do anything to react to it, which I want to get to in a minute. But as far as being able to survive this 6, 8, 10 months, yeah, we can do that. And we still have some money left over in our emergency fund, plus our savings. So I feel like we've put ourselves in a really good position. It wasn't like I was trying to put ourselves in a position in case the economic failure happened. I put ourselves in a good position just because I thought it was a smart thing to do. Now, I've said before, you know, 15, 20 years ago, I used to want to prep and learn everything about prepping and be a prepper in case something happened. And I always thought it'd be a political problem. Of course, I was young and stupid, and I was full of conspiracy theories. Finally, I outgrew that. And now I'm just kind of like, well, you know, it'd be good if I didn't have any debt, that I didn't owe anybody anything. And it'd be really good if I had an emergency fund. It'd be really good if I had a savings account. It'd be really good if I didn't spend money on things that I don't need. And so, you know, I budget out $800 a month. I haven't adjusted our budget since being a nomad and now living off grid. But being a nomad, I mean, we'd hit around $800 every month, $850, $900, $700. But we've been here a month and a half, and we haven't even come close to the $800. We're not spending any gas money. We're set in one location. We don't have to drive. We're not eating out when we go from one location to another location. It looks like we're gonna come in around $450 this month. That's half of what our budget is, which is great because that means that the jobs I lost, you know, because I lost several jobs temporarily until this pandemic's over, didn't hurt us financially. We're still making more money than what we're spending, which is incredible. But this whole thing has got me kind of thinking back to my youth when I was trying to be a prepper. And it's got me thinking, am I ready for a real collapse of the system? What does that mean? What is a collapse of the system? Can I survive without having any dependency on anything or anyone else? I can do it all myself. And the answer is, right now is no, but I'm close. I'm real close. The solar panels. Now, do you need electric in a pandemic? I think in today's society, you got to have electric because everything you have now relies on electric. 200 years ago, 100 years ago, they still had hand crank grinders. Well, now to buy a grinder, you got to buy an electric grinder. You have to go to an antique store to buy a hand crank grinder. Of course, we still have our refrigerator, and I think the refrigerator is a necessity since I don't have any other way of storing food right now. And there's a lot of things I could do, but if the crisis continues to happen as is, I got to live with what I got. And so right now, I think electric is very important. I'm just not in a better situation. I was having to run the generator first few weeks we were here. I don't know, about every third day, especially on cloudy days. If it was cloudy, at nighttime, I would have to run the generator. When I was at Mom's house, I tested 6 of them to make sure that 6 of them was working. I had 2 others that I didn't use. And I didn't set them up until I got here. And I set them up, I thought I tested them. I remember testing them. But for whatever reason, I came back out and I thought, it just doesn't seem to be adding up to the wattage that I thought we should have. I came out and tested every panel. And sure enough, I had 2 panels not working. It must have been those 2. The other thing could have happened while we were transporting 2 of the panels here from Mom's house. I disconnected them. I tested them as I was disconnecting them. I put them in the camper. Maybe it's 2 other panels that in the transport, wires came loose. Whatever the reason, I fixed those 2 issues and I've not had to run the generator since. Cloudy days, sunny days. On sunny days, we've ran the air conditioner and I can run a little 950 watt space heater during the day, of course. Can't run it at night because that'd suck up all the battery. So we're making tons of electricity. So that means I don't need the generator to charge batteries. Unfortunately, I still need the generator to fill the IBC tank from my well. I don't have an inverter big enough to handle the well pump. The thing is it only takes about a half hour every, week and a half to fill it from this point up, about 75 gallons. It takes about a half hour. I could pump it faster, but it runs the well dry, and I don't want to run the well dry. So a half hour, I get 11 hours on a gallon of gas, which means I got nearly an unlimited supply of gas, and I only got 1 5-gallon can of it. Now, the thing is I can get gasoline for my truck. The truck is full. Before this all happened, I made sure I filled up the truck. So if I need to, I can break a line underneath the truck and collect the gasoline underneath the truck from the tank. You can't siphon out of the fill hole in your car anymore. They got little valves in there now that keeps you from getting a hose in there. So I think I'm okay with water for a very, very long time. If I need to, I could try to figure out how to power the generator some other way. If I started thinking really hard, I could make ethanol out of corn, and I can run, it burns hotter in the generator, but since I'm not only running for a half hour, I'll take the panels off of it so it stays cool. I could run it off alcohol. So that's an option. And building a still, I could do that pretty easy, I think. So then the only thing is heat. I think I need heat because it gets so cold here. Right now we're running off propane, and my plan is to have wood heat by this coming winter. I'm going to build my own wood furnace. That could be a challenge, trying to find a wood stove that I could build a wood furnace with. I have all the bricks and all the other materials that I need. Something happened. There's something, food. That's a thing you got to have. We're growing a small garden, but the thing is I got plenty of wooded area where I can start trapping animals like rabbits. There's tons of rabbits and squirrels out here. I could trap them really easily, and that would give us plenty of food. So I think we're okay with food. So I recommend that you start taking an inventory of the things that you need. For example, do you own your own house? If the creditors came right now and said, hey, you're late on a payment, what would you do? How are you going to overcome that obstacle? Do you have an unlimited supply of water? Where do you get your water from? Do you get it from the city? If you don't pay your bill, are they going to shut you off? Electric, where you get your food from, can you garden? And then start figuring out ways to fill those gaps. Now, I was told the other day that not everybody can think outside the box like me. And I thought, well, that's very nice of you to say. Thank you. But I disagree. I think everybody has the capability of thinking outside the box. They say necessity is the mother of invention. So if you need food, you're going to invent a way to get it. If you need electric, you're going to figure out a way to get it. I do think that we have a little bit of an advantage. Right now, we still have Google. And as long as Google is up and YouTube is working, you can start helping yourself find answers that you need to actually survive if you lost everything. So keep that in mind. Thanks for watching.